right, hey everyone, Andy here with RNA Landscaping. Today we got Brian from Lawn Doctor on the video with us today. And the question that we get asked a lot is what time's the best time to water your grass? We have a lot of people asking us, obviously either water it at night, in the morning. We see it, sometimes right during the day, afternoon. So I thought it'd be best, obviously, we talked to Brian. He's the lawn expert guy on here on really growing the grass. So Brian, what is the best time to, to set these sprinklers for so they can, we can get this grass so it's, looking good. Everybody wants a nice green, thick, weed-free lawn. So, yeah, tell us what you think.
Okay, well, thanks for having me, Andy. And basically watering your grass, just remember the first thing is that everybody's lawn's different. Some people have clay-based soils, some have loam soils, some have, sandy soils. So you really have to monitor how your lawn's holding moisture. If you water, it might be on the side of your house. If you water it for 5 minutes, it could puddle. Whereas in the middle of the lawn, you could water for 15 minutes and it could look more dried out. Obviously the areas that get more sunlight are going to tend to hold moisture less or not as long or dry out faster than areas with more shade. Okay, so a traditional standard, I tell my customers, spring and fall, you want to water deep. So you want to set your sprinklers to water 20 to 25 minutes a zone. I say 3 times a week. Okay, and space them out, and just remember, the length of your grass blade. If you're saturating the soil deep and you're mowing high, your roots are going deep. So they're going to be able to feed off that watering for 2 to 3 days. Okay, so 3 times. Now, we're in Michigan, and weather can change all the time. It can be 85 first week of March. It can be 50 in the middle of June. Okay, so you have to monitor the weather. I bring back 2012 where we had 27 days that was over 95 degrees, and people actually lost the lawns that weren't watering appropriately. I know you remember that, Andy.
I do remember that.
Yeah. But so what I recommend is, and that's where the watering problem in order to keep a green lawn really gets challenging, and that's in the summer.
Okay.
So in the summer, I recommend watering, going to a daily schedule of 15 to 20 minutes per zone every morning. Okay. And then in areas where you see that it's still getting, showing some drought stress, like along the edges of curbs and driveways, sidewalks, or in the front yard or backyard, wherever it is, I would do a second watering sometime between 11 and 4. Okay. You want to avoid all evening watering, period. Evening watering causes fungus issues such as dollar spot and red thread. You want to avoid keeping water on the lawn overnight. And just remember, I did bring up the 11 to 4 during hot summer times. One of the common myths is that if you water during the day, it'll scorch the lawn. That's not accurate. The only thing you will see with watering during the day is evaporation when it's hot. So watering for 5 minutes during the day isn't going to do anything for your lawn. It's going to evaporate before it gets into the soil. So I recommend doing at least 10 to 15 minutes in that mid-watering, but not after 4 o'clock.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Sometimes, to be honest with you, we get customers that sometimes, they think the evening's the best time, or they water them at 7, 8 o'clock at night. And so you're saying that's obviously not a great time to do it. And then you said something about getting red thread?
Yeah, red thread is a disease, and dollar spot is a disease where you might have a time where you're getting a lot of, we're getting a lot of moisture. It's raining a lot and it's wet and your lawn's green and you're really happy. And then all of a sudden you come out, you go in the backyard, you got all these brown spots in your lawn that looks like the dog urinated all over the place. That is dollar spot. The other red thread is another common fungus in Michigan here, where it gets brown, patchy areas like that, but they have a reddish tint to them. Okay, and those fungus issues are due to a nitrogen deficiency. They come out when we get consistent 70 to 90 degree temperatures, accompanied by moisture on the lawn overnight, which goes back to our watering at night thing. But we have a way of responding to it. I have a special program I've put together to prevent people that get chronic fungus issues each year. But it's important that you fertilize the lawn to get that fungus grown out. But just make sure you're doing the right cultural practices on your end to prevent that from happening. And the number one is not watering in the evening.
Okay. Well, hey, I really do appreciate it. So thank you for answering these questions. Obviously, for everybody that's listening, there's the advice from Brian, the lawn doctor, the guy that obviously knows way more about grass than I do. So thank you, Brian. And if there's any other questions, feel free to either comment on our link or Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, and we will stay in touch. Thank you. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Andy.
Yep. Have a good day.
Bye now.